It actually depends from region to region. I think that's a really good question. I don't think you cannot compare the two, like shooting porn with forced marriage, because it's like even in India, they use the word arranged marriage, instead of forced marriage, but it is still forced. You're put into this box and you have to kind of get along. And it's like, what if you don't, what are the consequences?
I guess when I'm saying forced marriage, there's forced arranged marriages, but I'm thinking of where they're literally just taking girls and forcing them to marry a fighter. And from I'd say that's more like rape.
It is rape. It is all rape, regardless whether you have a daughter who loves her parents and she's like, yeah, we'll marry whoever you want me to. And she gets married, but it's not what she wants. It's still non-consensual, One is more violent, maybe, the girl who is snatched and, beaten up and told what to do by the fighter but in the end, it doesn't, the damage is the same,
You're right.
You break somebody's soul and it's to humiliate them. Whether it's in one setting or the other, there is the concept of consent doesn't really exist in Afghanistan. As an example, I would say it's in other countries too. It's like your duty is to obey your husband. And if you disobey, then according to Islam, according to the Quran, if you disobey your husband, he has the right to beat you. There is a surah, there is an exact phrase, and no matter how many people try to sugarcoat this, you cannot sugarcoat domestic violence. And that's all you need to know about how women are treated in Islam. No matter if they have a bit more rights compared to other religion or whatever, in the end, it's all the same shit, just a different hole, Yeah. That's exactly it in Afghanistan too. So I remember when I first asked this question, I asked my mother this question and she was like, there is no such thing as rape.
What?
Yeah. She told me this. She said there is no such thing as rape in Islam and not in Afghan society, because you cannot disobey your husband. If he says, yes, now is the time, then you obey. It's your duty, And the consequences are either you will be beaten up or mentally terrorized, who knows? But you kind of maybe don't want to find out the consequences. So you kind of give in and you allow this, well, not allow, but this happens to you. It's sort of kind of not in your control, but it's like, it's a terrible situation to be in.
And I wonder I guess you don't know because you moved, but what's like a typical Afghan's sexuality like?
Yeah, I think everyone has a different sexuality. I don't think there is like an umbrella for it.
I always think there's patterns with how we, like things that we experience through our life, they kind of, we like maybe have these kind of patterns. So I guess I was thinking in that perspective.
No, I understand what you mean. I just feel like maybe it's not, I don't know. I think you cannot really compare it. Everybody has a different experience. There might be somebody in Afghanistan who loves the Taliban, who's not like, hey, I'm proud of my sexuality, whatever. You may have those kind of Stockholm syndromes patients. And then you have somebody like me. So it's like, it's a wide range, but I don't think you can really, in such an environment, you cannot really know much about your sexuality.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you cannot really explore it, and there are LGBT members who are scared, they know who they are, what they know about their sexuality, but maybe they don't have that much experience, but they know about it. But they cannot really explore it because it would mean they will end up dead. I just think dead. Dead, basically. I just think that there is no stereotypical. The stereotypical is, I would say, what you could call is from the outside. It's the typical cisgender heterosexual relationships. and that's it. And it's sort of like the man is the breadwinner of the family. He tells you what to do and you obey, have kids. You're a baby machine. And it's not like your orgasms matter, you know? Why should you masturbate or any of this? It's like you open your legs, you get fucked by your husband. Whenever he comes, that's it. You get up and you continue doing the housework. So that's
Yeah. No cuddles.
no cuddles. For sure not. Like there's no before and after play. Literally. I doubt it. That's why it's so damaged, the relationships between the children.
I think without that sexual culture of magazines and websites and sex teachers, 'cause when I speak to much older people, I think the sex lives of younger people, just in the West, like we were a lot more conservative back then. I think a lot of women and men went through life not really knowing what good sex was. I think it's just, if you maybe explored it yourself, you knew. But generally, I don't think, like in the 50s, you got very sexual articles like you do in magazines like from the 60s onwards. So it's definitely interesting from that point of view.
Yeah, for sure. I think as a society, we're more open now. There are certain times where I'm like, we're not that open as I thought we would be, you know? You don't have that many nude beaches compared to before. You know, it's just like there are good things and bad things. But I think here we are so much freer. You can do whatever you want, basically. And it's like the prison that you've built yourself. There you have a cage that's been put, like you've been put in the cage. Here we build our own cages more. It's more this, actually, whether it's from the media or whatever, but it's more our own doing.